And like I said to everyone, welcome to our summit. Um, all right. All right, so let's go ahead and let's learn a little bit about who Elena is. Elena Espinal has over 30 years of experience in leadership development, executive coaching, future design, and team building. She is the founder of the first school of coaching recognized by the Secretary of Education in Argentina, the master's program in coaching at the University of London in Mexico, and Team Power, a company dedicated to executive and organizational coaching. She has worked across cultures in more than over 30 countries on every continent, partnering with Fortune 500 companies, governments, and NGOs. She's a strong advocate for diversity and inclusion. Elena co-founded Coaching Con Visión, an organization that has trained and supported more than 60 blind coaches. That is so great. Creating professional opportunities for them worldwide. Elena is also an experienced TED speaker, which is awesome, and coach. She delivers her own TEDx talk in Mexico. She did that back in 2012 and was in charge of coaching all TEDx DF speakers for 2 years. So everyone, welcome Elena, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Elena.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. And as always, and because we are not so much, I will tell you, I used to talk in a way that this is a conversation. So interrupt me whenever you want. I can go with your conversation to whoever you are interested in. My presentation is just as a guide, but I'm not attached to it. So let's go with you, because this is a work that I've been doing for more than 5 years. And this last year, I did it with a friend and a coach from Argentina called Alejandro Marchesan. And I think could be interesting, or we can discuss a lot about it. And we call it the hidden dimension of coaching, cultivating sensibilities. So please, please, please bring whatever you want in the moment you want. And let's create this space together so you could have something that could change the way you look at your sessions in some way when we are finishing. So it's a joy to be here with friends and colleagues who dedicate their lives to the art of coaching. Today we will explore something that lives beneath the visible, the sensibilities that shape our presence, our perception, and the depth of transformation we can hold. I love this quote because it captures what coaching often feels like. We sit in conversation with what is still invisible: potential, meaning, truth, and we leave it before it arrives. Sensibilities allow us to sense the invisible world. And this is not a workshop about doing more. It's about being more aware of the texture of our presence. Competencies tell us what to do well, but sensibilities tell us how to be fully human while we do it. So this is not a workshop about doing more. It is about being more aware of the texture of our presence and going, being fully human while we are coaching too. So competencies, as you can see, are the visible structure, are behaviors, techniques, questions. Sensibilities are the inner tone, the listening beneath the words, the capacity to hold silence, the ability to perceive what wants to emerge. As you can see, do you have any question about this chart? Because we are so focused on the column of the left. In general, I don't know, I work a lot with ICF competencies and even doing evaluation of conversations, and we are looking for that. But probably we don't stop to see this other part, the invisible sensibilities.
Elena, can
See?
I ask you a question?
Yes, Katya, whatever you want.
When you say sensibilities, what do you mean with sensibilities?
Sensibility has to do with what we are as human beings. It's not something that you learn because you are born with them. It's just giving the space to them to appear. And because of culture, we close them up. For example, and we will see today two of them, we will talk about relationship with time and with trust. There's no relationship without trust. Trust is like the floor to build relationship. I will give you an example that is very tough for me, but it's something like a social illness in Argentina. We always build like a magic trust, like a blind trust to the politicians that we vote, waiting them to do a miracle. But then, without analyzing if they are able to deliver their promises, or if we trust them as persons or their values, we just confuse the dimensions of trust and we take out all our trust. And this person is absolutely alone and can't do anything because relationship is not anymore there. So we will talk a lot about this in this conversation, and please bring the questions back again whenever you want.
Thank you.
No, please. So when do we spend more time in your coaching? Where do we spend more time in your coaching? In the visible field or in the invisible field of being? And why I'm bringing this question? I'm bringing this question because in my experience, coaching happens in the space of the relationship between the coach and the client. It's in that space. And that space is built by the coach. The openness, the presence that has nothing to be with attention, has to do with being there, open to listen, not afraid, surrendered, open to what can appear, open to the emotions, open to feel the emotions of the client. That's empathy. And knowing that they are not yours, are from your client. But how can you talk with a person that you are not understanding and feeling what is feeling in that moment? So when we work so much in technique, but we forget who we are with our client, we are not giving space for this kind of being in relationship that, at least for me, it was one of the greatest gifts that coaching brought to my life. I asked myself hundreds of times, what is relationship? What is love? Hundreds of times. So just take a breath and sense your last coaching session. Were you doing coaching or being a coach? This is a subtle distinction, but it changes everything. These three, time, trust, resilience, are not techniques. They are inner stances. When we inhabit them, the space of coaching transforms. Let's talk about time. Many coaches and clients live in the tyranny of speed. They live in urgency. All their projects are urgent. They feel tired because everything is urgent in the office. I don't know if you had that experience. I really have it a lot. And in those moments, where's presence? Their presence when they are in a hurry. How do we relate to purpose when we are in a hurry? The other thing that we have to think a lot when you are in a hurry, when you live in urgency, is that you lose the sense of future. Future comes very close. Future is tomorrow morning. Future is in an hour. How can you build future when in every moment you are building the future for an hour more? Where's the possibility of creating something big? And it comes hand by hand with other things. For example, personal power. I work with the Secretary of Education in Mexico. And as I work a lot in future design, they called me to do some sessions about future design for education in Mexico. And I asked, okay, tell me, I don't know, the year, 10 years, 20 years 30 years? What's the future that we are looking for? And they got astonished and told me, oh no, we want to work the future of education for the next 4 years. The future of education of a country in 4 years, there's no future. What can you design for 4 years? There's no change. And they said, yes, because this is the time that we will be in the government. So in that relationship with time, it's control because it's fear. They feel fear. So when you relate to time, the way you relate to time comes to the space that you're creating with your client. Can we think in future in 10 years, 20 years, your life? What gives purpose to your life? How this change that you want will impact in your life, in your relationships? So I think this is interesting. Time is not to manage. I think time is something to honor. And silence in that moment is not emptiness. When you ask questions like that, that is gestation. So try this next time. Instead of filling a silence, just listen to it. There's often a deeper intelligence in what is not said. See if you can listen to that. How are we going? Let me stop sharing and just talk a little with you. How are we going? What do you need?
If you'd like, you can type in the chat a little bit of the reflection with Elena's saying.
I'm ready to change. If
Yes.
this is not what you're looking for. Ibrahim,
Hi, Elena.
how are you?
Very good, thank you. I was sitting with the part about time and the perspective of future, and looking more into the future. I get the no rush because that provides tranquility and provides listening and connection, and connection cannot be rushed, at least how I feel it. The future part, I cannot see myself in 20 years. I can see values projected in 20 years, but not beyond that, not beyond those values. So, how will they be manifested? I don't know. And in all fairness, I'm okay with that. So, this is the part that I'm not sure how, like, I was trying to think how to bring that future more vivid into a more vivid picture.
Probably when I work with them, instead of talking about time, I talk about a picture. Can you describe me the picture of the future that you want? People can relate with that easier. They relate it a lot to values, what they want to preserve, what they want to change, what they want to bring new to their lives. And when we are talking with companies, for example, today I had a very important meeting. I made a test about culture with a company. And this is a very, very, very big company. I'm talking with this branch of them in Guatemala. And they are very good performers, but they are afraid of anything that could be innovation. So they are experienced people doing their things well. There's no innovation. They can't bring anything new. They say that the others, the big company, that does not allow them to do it, but that they don't know it really. So they are close-minded to just perform what they have to perform in the year, and that's it. So it's so interesting to challenge that way of thinking, because that means, who are you there? How do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as a person that did what had to do? Personally, I don't want that. So that brings new conversations. I don't know if I could say something new to you, Ibrahim.
Thank you. It's a nice perspective to keep in mind. It's in strategic vision, you normally split into short, medium, and long term. The short to survive, to be able to enable in the midterm to get you to the long term. And if that is not planned and clarified, you will continuously stay in the rat race and die as a company, because someone will disrupt you out of the market pretty much. So yeah, fully resonates. Thank you.
Let me bring to you something that I see like a trend. I lived the trend from areas in a country with a CEO that was absolutely responsible of anything that happened in the country, to this way of working with one marketing director that is in Europe, and they report to that marketing director, and in a dotted line to the one that it's in the country. Yes, so responsibilities diminished a lot. That destroyed the vision of the CEOs, their responsibility and their accountability about growing markets. What I am seeing now is companies that are going back to giving independence to the countries to make their work and grow. So instead of one thinking about marketing for all the world, we are looking again to, I give you the power. Show me what you can create there.
Elena, go ahead.
Yeah, Caterina.
Yes.
Hi, Elena. Nice to see you again. Pleasure. So I love when you say the importance of not rush, of really take the time. And as I work a lot with executives and US companies and corporations, they just have the tactics, as Ibrahim says, surviving, like the short term, and say the politics, and they want to say show the results. And it's hard for them to go and see farther. Something that I connect is about the legacy that they can bring to what they are doing. And also, I love when you say, I work with pictures. I have seen in my own practice, like asking them for writing or take them out of the rational part and bring to more other ways of doing coaching has been helping me. So tell me, I would love to hear more about your experience about, bringing all this kind rush, even though they give me, okay, 30 minutes, Katerina. Okay, in 30 minutes that you have to just give results and they that is all that they have, and they have to give to you 30 minutes, and so big companies is a lot. So please, I would love to hear your experience and all this kind of
Tell
thing.
you one story with one client. He was the VP director of communication that did telephones, portable telephones, and he was the VP for all America, United States and all Latin America. It was a Japanese company. And he was absolutely brilliant. He had great results, always. Yes, they asked me to work with him because he was so brilliant that he didn't give space to his teams. He was always solving the problem and making them work and work and work and rush again for the result. Yes. So I think it was his second or third session. I was at his office. This was before the pandemic. And in a moment of the session, he received a call. And he looked at the telephone and said, "Sorry, it's my wife. I have to answer because if not, I have a big problem." So he answered the call. And I saw his face. His face changed. And he said, "Oh, yes, my dear. Yes, yes. Whatever you want, my dear. Yes, yes, yes. I will be at 8 o'clock. Yes, 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 my dear. I'm occupied. Goodbye." And when he finished the call, he looked at me and said, "Elena, I'm so tired. And my wife is bored. We are from another country. They were from Argentina, living in Mexico. I'm so tired. She's bored. So she creates events or dinners at home with friends, or like now, she's asking me to go outside with friends. And when I arrive home, the only thing I want to do is to sleep. I don't want even to see the kids. I am really tired." And I looked at him, and with the same tone of voice, I said, "And what is important for you in your life?" It was a long silence. He didn't ask me the question. He continued talking about his team. This was October. I had another session in November. And he told me in that session, "I'm going to Buenos Aires because this Japanese man, the big CEO of the company, is going there. And we meet all the regions there. And we have the year meeting in Argentina. And I will stay visiting my family. So I see you in January." Okay, we see in January. In January, 6th of January, he didn't call me. So I called him. And he said, "Oh, I'm so glad to talk with you. I have so much to thank you. But I have to tell you something very strong. Can you come to my company?" Yes. So I went to the company, and he told me, "I quit it." What? Yes. I was making my presentation, and in a moment of the presentation, that was the best presentation of all the world, with the best results. In a moment, the Japanese man said, "Well, you can measure this, something else," because he saw a difference. And in that moment, I remembered your question. What is important for you in your life? And I saw my wife, and I saw my kids, and I saw my parents and my parents-in-law that are very old now. And I have the money for me and for my kids, and probably a little more. And in that moment, I said, why I am doing this? So in that moment, I answered the CEO saying, I want to talk with you in the first break that we had. So when we had the break, I told him I want to quit. And he said, what I did wrong? Because you were extraordinary well doing. And he said, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I just realized that life is another thing, that I have the money enough, that I don't need to live like this, that I can do another things and be more with my family and my kids. So, and I said, I was terrified because I was paid by the company. Yes. So I said, okay, should I talk with the president again? He told me, no. Even more, he told me that I can continue with my coaching sessions just to design my own future. I will leave the person ready here, everything okay, because they are so thankful to what I did, and I am so thankful to them. But just one question that he didn't answer in that moment changed the course of his life. That's the power that we have. Hope I could answer you.
Elena, we have Erica. She wants to ask
Yes.
you a question.
Erika?
Hello, hi, hola, ¿cómo estás, Elena? I'm from Mexico, so I'm glad that you have been
Hi,
there in
Kelly.
my country. Yes, so I'm out of the bubble that you are because I'm working with teenagers and couples. So now that I'm listening to you, I think everything is like arriving in the same place. No, it's just reflecting about our life purpose, our mission, and I'm blessed because it's this our best friends are from teenagers, no? When we were teenagers, so it's that moment that we're dreaming, that we are like planning our next future. And just because you asked, and I was waiting, but you asked what we're taking about that is just to confirm the importance of having that moment of reflection with our clients, even though they are teenagers, young people, couples. That I'm working with couples too, just to stop and asking, what do you want? What is important? What is the priority in your life? And something that I work in, no? Like with the life and career plan, and to have clarity of the mission, vision, values. It's
Future that you want to
super
create.
important.
What kind of life do you want to live?
Exactly. And it's not an easy response. It's like it's a reflecting, and I think, and we have been like I meet of other people from this workshop, but I think that the mindfulness is a key word. Like is to have that time to stop, to go, to reflect the inner, and I think with the society needed. I'm like now that I'm working with young people, it's like I'm here in USA, it's like I have fear because they are not having that moment. They are very confused. And now you're working about adults that they don't have that time, but believe it about our teenagers. So yes, I think that to be a coach is a blessed to have this kind of questions and to have this space to help people to reflect. So it's just like confirming the thing that you're saying.
Beautiful what you brought. Thank you, Erika, very much. So let's talk now about trust. And I think trust is the invisible bridge between two uncertainties. And trust is not built through control. It's built through surrender. When we trust the process, we stop fixing. And we are beginning allowing something to appear. We trust not because we know, but because we are willing not to know. That's the moment of trust. So trust is not a technique. It's the ground that makes relationship possible. When trust is broken, It's not only a behavioral issue. It's often because we have collapsed one of the domains of trust: competence, reliability, sincerity, or care. And when that happens, there is no ground for the relationship to stand on. In coaching, this is deeply relevant. A client will not go into vulnerable exploration if any domain of trust has collapsed. So part of our work as coaches is to rebuild that ground, not by promises, but through presence and coherence. Trust doesn't come from control. Trust grows from congruence. Often, trust appears when we risk being real, when our humanness shows up without armors. And in that moment, connection becomes possible. Do you have some example that could come to your mind when you see this question? Those moments where you really trust somebody and the vision that you had of the world changed. So in deep coaching, sometimes things fall apart. Stories, certainties, identities. Our role is not to prevent that collapse, but to hold the space where something new can emerge. And this is resilience. Resilience as openness, not resistant. And for resilience to appear in general, we have to accept our biggest teacher. And our biggest teacher is pain. Can we listen pain openly? Can we invite the other one to really feel the pain? Because resisting, we will say, I am strong. And I don't believe in that. Accepting the pain will create the space for you to answer the question, what do I have to learn from here? And you know, there's an Egyptian, there are some two or three, I think three, different legends about resilience, about this phoenix bird, no? The one that I love is the Egyptian one. And I love the Egyptian one because it is said that when this bird saw that he couldn't fly so much because of his feathers, he decided honestly to jump into the fire. It was his decision to do it. And he did it. It was a cinnamon plant. And he felt the pain. And in some moment from the pain, it appeared again such a beautiful, beautiful animal with colors, with feathers of different colors, and with a lot of strength. But the difference in the story is that when he did that, he went back to the fire took the rests of his father and brought it to the altar of a man. What were the rests of his father? The rests of his father were the lessons and the pain he passed through. Because you can't be who you are today if you don't acknowledge the lessons and the pains that brought you to who you are now. So we have to thank that. So I think that is, for me, one of the best examples of resilience. What do you think? Where are you? Are we okay? Do you need something else?
Elena, I just want to say that's a beautiful, beautiful story about the phoenix that makes you think.
Thank you, Dorothy. Something else?
I connect that with religion, with the cross, with the Catholic religion, how the cross shows us. And then after that, you elevate it, you change, you transmute into something bigger than that.
Yes, but part of the resilience is accepting the pain or the suffering and being present to it, giving the space to feel it. And from there on, ask you the question, what should I learn from here? That's the rebirth. It's not a place for just going through it as soon as possible and showing that you are not strong, because you didn't learn anything in that way. So we have the space to work resilience. And that's a great space for coaches. No, sorry, it's not this. Oh, yes, it was. It was.
Can I
So-
ask you a question, Elena?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Just thinking of what you said, of you learn from your pains, but you think you can learn from something that it's not painful?
Yes, for sure. But the biggest lessons in our lives come from suffering or pain, because are the beliefs where we are more attached. Think about death.
Okay.
For example, can you accept the death of your beloved ones? I heard so many times, it is unfair. Unfair? It's part of life. It's the game. We receive a gift, we never know when it's going away from us. I learned it from there, honestly.
And maybe coming into terms that death is part of life.
Yeah.
Elena, Nancy says it's very profound, which that's very deep. Yes.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, Nancy. So, when we can stay present in uncertainty, we transmit safety to our client. And from safety, the client can risk transformation.
We have Dr. Liesel says, it's all perspective.
Yes, nothing is a truth. We're talking about perspectives. Yes. So what if we pause for a while? And I would say if we can close our eyes and sense your presence, your breath, your heartbeat, your aliveness. See what happens when you soften your effort. This is the space for cultivating our sensibilities. Just noticing without judging. Letting the moment reveal itself. Awareness itself is transformation. Not what we learn, is what we notice. Thank you for trusting and sharing and closing your eyes. Do you want to share something about this?
If you'd like, you can type also, or you can unmute yourself.
Carmen? Yes, Carmen. Thank you.
Hello, Elena. Thank you for all this learning. I don't know, it's more than a thought. When we are learning in a happy moment, it's easy, right? It's easy to get the knowledge. We learn things I think we learn from every single experience in life. But when we are through a tough time, pain, it's harder to stand up and learn the experience and get up and keep going, right? So maybe that's, harder, and maybe that's why we learn more things about ourselves when it's a pain situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, what do you mean of a hard time? When you use the word hard.
Well, it was more like like we were talking about pain, a time of pain, like losing someone or being through a hard time, like a hardship, something that really is painful for you in your life.
What makes that time painful?
That it goes more to your being, I think. It's really, yeah, more like a something that makes you sad, a change that is difficult, things like that.
Okay, if you look at your words, Carmen,
Mm-hmm.
I ask you, please, can you bring me a piece of difficult from the world? Can I buy difficult in the world?
No,
No.
no.
It's the word we use when we confront something where we don't know what to do.
Right.
Yes?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yes. So it's always perception.
Okay. And what about what we feel? Okay, it's a perception as well, but you were talking about pain. So
Yes.
what will be pain? Like the pain of the phoenix
Let
bird,
me
right?
give you a Heideggerian answer, let me talk a little about philosophy.
Okay.
Heidegger said that there's not a world without an observer that could see
Oh,
the
yeah.
world, and there's no observer without a word to observe.
Right.
Yes? But
Uh-huh.
he said emotions, and especially moods, are the kind of window that shows you the relationship with what is happening.
Okay.
If what is happening means something to you, like fight, you will say the world is always a place of war.
Oh, okay.
When you
Yes.
something is not anymore there that you love too much, you said I'm sad because the
Mm-hmm.
world changed
Mm-hmm.
and something that was important for you is not anymore there.
Yeah, but not necessarily for the rest of people. That's my perception.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I always say to the people that I train in coaching, emotions for us as coaches, we don't treat emotions like psychologists because we are not able to do that. We can use emotions to see from where this person is relating to what is happening. And if this person can change the way is observing the world, is relating to the world, the emotion
Mhm.
will change.
Okay.
And that's our work.
Thank you.
Katerina had a question for you, Elena.
Yes?
Yes, no, I was hearing about the pain, and I say at the end, every client comes to us because they have a pain. A pain, I don't know how to relate it with people. I have a pain because I'm maybe not enough after performance. I don't know when to be more. So there is something, and this is the vulnerability. So I really connect with that because nobody's going to say, I am so good, and that's why I don't want that you help me, right? Because they are coming with something that they are suffering, that they don't know. Maybe they don't have clarity. Maybe they don't know the what, and maybe they don't know the how. And they are looking for your help to navigate that.
Yes. And some others. And this is, I think that coaching is a learning process, Catherine. I always define coaching as a learning process. It's a learning process mediated by a third person. Yes? That only asks questions. Yes? Part of those questions had to do with how do you relate to learning. When I was a kid, I loved learning. But when I began the school, I was pressed to be the best pupil, to get always a 10. My father used to say a 9 is not a 10. Yes? So you have to do more. So when you work with somebody where struggling, relating to the unknown is a problem, they are learning against themselves. I am training teams, even it's an ACTC. I'm training teams with a game that is in the computer. You can't imagine how they relate to learning. They get annoyed against themselves because they don't know how to play the game. They get annoyed because they fell down or died. And when you look at that and you see it in your life and you say, well, when you're learning with against yourself, with a part of you that is saying to you, you are not able, you are not capable, you need to be more intelligent, you need to be more smart, you need to know this. You are going from control. That's so difficult, Katharina. But that relationship with learning is in our culture. It's in Occidental culture. Look at that. There's a great book from Flores about that. Learning, it's great. Javiera Flores wrote it. It's in English. You can go and read it. So, let's continue. So, this is what Otto Scharmer calls presencing, a field of awareness that listens the future into being. When we coach from this place, we are not leading the client. We are joining them in discovery. So it's an invitation to let them sense the question rather than answer it. And this is the beginning of inner practice, what Hawkins calls supervision of the self. So when we train sensibilities like skills, we will fail. We can cultivate sensibilities through attention, reflection, and humility. Our greatest contribution as coaches is not solving problems, but expanding consciousness. What sensibility will you cultivate in your coaching tomorrow? Whatever arises, trust it. That is your next sensibility waiting to be lived. Because when we awaken our sensibilities, we awaken the world. So this is what I had for you, but I am open to share, answer, work together, listen, learn from you, whatever you want.
Elena, I just want to say the quiet moments are really, it really makes you think. And when I say think, pretty much really process, especially if someone who can't process. I was hearing someone say earlier, what if it's difficult to process the feelings? And there are people out there who it is difficult to process. They just don't know how to navigate it. But the quiet moment puts them in an uncomfortable, at the beginning, position where it forces them to just get into that.
Let me challenge you. We are so in the past paradigm that we say we will have a conversation, half an hour conversation, 30 minutes. We will have 45 minutes. No, we will have the time you need for this conversation. A great friend of mine, my teacher, my mentor, died last year, Jim Selman. I think, one of the best coaches I knew in my life. He told me, I never charge my sessions because of the time that they last. I charge my sessions for the difference they can make in the future of my clients.
Interesting. Rosario has her hand up. Rosario, not mute
Hi,
yourself.
Rosario.
Hi, sorry, I was just typing what you just said because I thought it was so inspiring. Well, this is what I feel after your presentation. I just feel this is really more about learning how to be rather than do.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm so happy because I'm a fairly new coach, and I really make an emphasis with my coaches, always asking how are they feeling, you know, rather than what are they thinking. So I'm happy. I think I'm on the right path. Yeah, thank you.
Let me challenge you again. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I love to.
My coach part comes out.
Say that again.
What are you feeling is very interesting. But remember that that feeling, that emotion, has to do with the way that you're relating to what is happening. During the coaching session, you can ask the other one, and if you could choose the future that you want to create, what's that future? Second question. So, who's the person that can create that? What's the way that person talks? That person moves? From what feelings come? And you will see that emotions, feelings, moods change during the coaching conversation because we are empowering people. And empower people, we are not empowering, we are offering them to empower themselves. No, we can't empower anybody. But when they can choose the future, they are choosing a new way to relate with the situation. And that's so strong. And we are very good in that instead of trying to solve.
I love that.
Thank you, Rosario.
Thank you.
Something else?
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
And then Marcia
I'll
after
let
that.
Marcia go first.
Oh, okay. Marcia,
Okay,
go ahead.
Marsha? No, it's your mic is closed.
Unmute Marcia. You can go first. You're still mute.
Can we unmute her?
I just asked. There we go. Mhm.
Now, talk, Marcia. No. Dorothy, I cannot
What
listen
about now?
to you too.
Oh, now we could hear you.
Yes.
It's good? Okay, good.
Marcia now.
So, Elena, I'm a fan. So I've been observing, watching you, following you a lot. And what I'm going to say, I'll be very vulnerable now. And I welcome your challenge just to be. So when you are presenting all of these, I feel the mindset of a coach, like I think Rosario just said, is important. And I'm sitting here with this absolutely fascinating and inspiring teaching that you are giving and thinking about the real life thing. Coaching sessions that last 30 minutes. Agreements that platforms that we coach that bring the clients to meet goals, to use the coach for specific situations, right? So what I'm sensing is that the first session is when we can truly create this agreement to be the coach and the client. However, during the relationship, there will be moments where we will be coaching for a skill, right? Especially when you have a junior person learning to become a manager, they need to know a skill. We can have this mindset, but many times I see in my sessions this need that the people are bringing, this is what I need to learn, and this is how brave I need to be to perform certain tasks that I don't have a clue about what to do. So the thing that I'm asking you here is, I'm speaking for myself, but I definitely know I'm not alone in this coaching situation, right? Where how I keep being, or I keep being, or having all this mindset that you were saying here. I'm not fixing, I am helping the person to find themselves and everything. But at the same time, right, I am performing as a coach. I'm doing I'm on time, I'm doing my 30 minutes. I am sometimes doing that. And this is part of the profession nowadays. This is a reality. It's a reality for me, I bet for others too. But so it's a dilemma, how we create this Uber mindset of being at the same time that we need to pick and choose, depending on the session or the day or something, certain things that are more a doer than a being, and balance that. That's the thing I want I'm sharing with all of you. And it's inspiring to listen to you, but it's at the same time something like, oh my gosh, it could be so good that we all the time could be always with this. And I'm telling you, it's not my reality, at least.
I understand it, Marcia. And really, I honor your truth here. I do not use time as a measurement for my sessions. And I have sessions that could last 30 minutes, but there are other sessions that last an hour. I think it's a choice. When you empower yourself, power means remember that you always choose. And when we say half an hour, it's a new paradigm that is choosing for us. And when we say $60, $80, $100, $200, $400, that's another paradigm. You're selling your time. And I think we have to begin thinking and break that, saying, what if what we are selling is transformation? I learned a lot from Jim. When he trained me, I'm talking 37 years ago, 38 years ago, people didn't know what was coaching. So when I talked with people, they said, well, but what is this then? It's psychology, it's mentoring. And I finished offering them a session for free with one condition. Can I ask you some questions when we finish the session? And the questions were about how worth it was the future that you saw in the session that we had. And put a price to that. Not in money, could be on chicken, or could be on, I don't know, plants, or cafes, or dinners, or money. And I saw myself growing from a coffee to a dinner to somebody that told me, you changed my life. So how much is that worth it? When he died, he was charging $50,000 for 6 months coaching. One session per month for sure, plus all the calls that you would need. Can you imagine the way he trusted himself, trusted the process, and trusted the other one to ask for that? And he was a human being, and we are human beings. Can we change that? According to what you said about the sessions, the contracting, I think we have not to get confused of what is a perfect session to be evaluated as an ACC, PCC, or MCC, and what happens in the sessions. Lots of sessions, I didn't have a very clear agreement, and I am MCC, and I tell you really, there was not a clear agreement, or we changed the agreement during the coaching session, because this is life. I'm sorry. Now, if I have to send one coaching session to the ICF, I will send one where I have a great agreement. I know how to do it, but it's not the only truth. Hope I answered you. Ibrahim.
Yes, Abraham.
Thank you.
Just from what you said, it reminded me of the Masterful Coaching by Robert Hargrove. I put in the chat. He talks
Yes.
about defining the impossible future and charging as part of success only at the end, depending on the transformation that happened. Anyhow, I'm going back to trust that you highlighted earlier, and yeah, we think about trusting ourselves and trusting the client and trusting the process. Where I normally struggle and I need to remind myself a lot is trusting myself. So, and just to share on that, I was I'm working with a lady, and I trusted her a lot. She's fantastic, resourceful. But the breakthrough came when I trusted myself that I'm actually here with her. And
You know, when you say I don't trust myself, what do you mean?
there's a thought of, all right, was this the best that I could bring forward of myself? Am I sufficiently present? Which is already reducing the presence. Like
Yes,
that thought
exactly.
in itself is diluting it. Also, in at the beginning of our engagement, I caught myself saying, "Okay, let me rephrase that." As it went through, which shows that I'm not trusting myself sufficiently, that the question coming out is clear enough, or is what I truly want to ask. And the breakthrough came when I felt, okay, I'm trusting myself that it's okay. What I'm bringing is enough. And that session, she said, you know what? I feel it's okay to trust myself that I can do this. And that kind of hit me. And I said, what changed? She said, the way you asked the question now, you had such belief in me. But I've always had that belief in her, but it was the belief in myself that kind of took away the belief or diluted that trust. So when you were saying it's that invisible connection between two parties, that is just coming back to me. So it's more a comment and realization more than anything else.
Let me
It's
ask
easy
you
to say, I trust yourself, go for it, launch yourself.
let me a question. Let me make you a
Please.
question. Is your life important for someone?
I hope so, yes.
Who, for example?
My wife, I hope.
Are not sure? You're not sure about that?
Well, I don't want to make assumptions, but
Well,
yes.
it's a good question to ask her then.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's a joke, no?
Yes.
So there's someone, your wife, for whom you are important. Someone else?
My brother.
Your brother. Yeah. Someone else?
Some close friends.
Some close friends.
Some colleagues from the ICF South Florida. Sorry for barging in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
Ibrahim, I want to give you a way of just observing. It's just a way of observing, but it's not coming from myself only. There's a very important philosopher that still lives that says self-esteem is not a question to do to yourself, like if I love me. Think if you are important for someone. If that is true, your esteem is solved. You make a difference in the life of someone. Just open to the other ones in the same way you open to these people, and you will make a difference.
Thank you. That's
I think we are in time, no, Dorothy?
Yes, I'm actually just coming in. They'll just let you know we got about like 10 minutes and table's open for everyone.
If there's nothing else, I want to thank you for your openness, for the kind of relationship. I am in Mexico and I felt really in the middle of all of you. In some moments I was coming like here because I felt you so close. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the space we created together.
I just want to say this was such a great session. I'd like to hear from some of you, even if you put it in the chat. What was your thoughts? This was really deep that I found that Elena just touched some areas that really made us think about things. So let's hear a little bit about what some of you guys may have to say about the session.
I will see you, Claudia, in Bogota.
Yeah, lovely.
I fly tonight.
Oh, lovely. See you Friday.
All right.
I
Anyone?
would love that.
Good
Going
exchange.
to Miami, Carmen. I would love it.
So we're hearing, Elena, this was a great exchange. Awesome. Thanks, Elena. Dr. Liesel says, thanks, Elena, so much. Loved it from Katarina. And then Nancy says she'll see you in San Diego also.
Yes, I have a conference there. Thank you.
She said she'll see you in
I'll be
San
at Converge
Diego.
too.
All right. And then I do want to go ahead. Constance has her hand up. So I just want to go ahead and Constance, you can unmute yourself.
Certainly. Thank you. Good
Yeah.
evening, everyone. I started out the session driving, and finally I got home, and so I could turn on my camera. But this was indeed a powerful session. It really went to the inner me. How much am I really giving? And this last statement, open up myself to others and I will make a difference, really summed it up. So I just want to thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anyone else?
I will say that I'll speak up, Dorothy. Wanted to say that I wish I had listened to this call a lot earlier when I had a client session of mine who was dealing with a brand new diagnosis and the sadness they were feeling about it. And I think we navigated it okay, but it because it was that relationship to the sadness that we explored in the session, and also being cognizant that it was very raw, but this gave me so much more spaciousness to
to be in that space with my clients, that there's something that I wrote down that you said that was really, it just kind of blew me away. And it was something about our job is not to, take away the pain or to, where was it? Something that you said. I wrote so many notes, now I can't find it. But it was to be with it, to be in that space, be in that space with your client. And so when you're talking about emotions that feel very raw for the client, it's like, not only can the client be with the emotion, but as coaches, sometimes we have trouble being with that emotion. And so it brought some awareness around that relational space that we have with our clients, and what can't we each be with. Right? Being in that space, very thought provoking.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Dorothy, and thank you, Katia, for
Yes.
trusting me.
Sure. I want to thank everyone who was on this session. As Nancy just said, it was such a great session. It was a pleasure to have you, Elena. Again, I've attended many of yours and I'm a big fan also. But I want to thank everyone for coming to this session, this last session today. It was so well worth it. Just to let you know, I went ahead and I put the link for the survey. If you could please just take a few minutes, I'll actually put it again. The link, if you can fill out the survey for the session. And I also want to let you guys know, tomorrow we do have Fernando Celis. He will be talking about AI with consciousness. Professor Jonathan Passmore, AI and coaching, what we know and what we don't know, what we need to know, because we all know AI is coming into everything. And then same time like this, Julius Ordonez will be talking about helping clients set compelling goals. So tomorrow, that is what the agenda is, an itinerary for the continuation of our fall summit. And I also do want to mention to everyone, next week, as we were going into the summit, I do want to let everyone know to network. Also, we have Coffee and Connection. So please, if you can, it's on the 22nd. If you'd like to have a coffee with us, come at 8:30 a.m. and we will be there to have a great time. But I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you so much, Elena. This was great. And any last words from anyone?
I'll say something, Dorothy. If you want,
Yeah.
you can bring a friend to
Yes.
the virtual coffee.
Yes.
So the idea is to show all the wonders of ICF South Florida that has to offer. So, and
Awesome.
if you're not a member, you're welcome to join.
Exactly. Thank you, Katya. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, day, wherever you are, and take care.
Thank you, Dorothy and Elena.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Bye.
Thanks,
End the
bye.
Joel. Thanks,
session,
Dorothy.
Elena.
Thanks, Elena.
See you. Bye.